I still remember the moment the envelope landed on my doorstep like a verdict. Thick, embossed paper, the kind that smells faintly of ambition and expectation. The Callahan Medical Gala, honoring the new neurology wing. My father's name was embossed in gold: organizer, primary donor, visionary. He'd poured years into this, building a state-of-the-art wing at the city hospital, a project that would forever mark his legacy. And me? I was 26, living alone in a cramped apartment, my body betraying me in ways no one seemed to take seriously. That I'd been a freelance graphic designer for a few months, not by choice, but because the migraines, the dizzy spells, the blurred vision, they'd made a normal office impossible. My family had one explanation: stress. Or worse, melodrama. The call came from my older brother, Nolan, the dutiful enforcer of family expectations. "You coming to Dad's big night? Everyone's going to be there." The donors, the executives. I slouched into the couch, pretending I could even stand. I don't know. "Not feeling great," I said, hoping the room spinning around me would convince him that. He exhaled, sharp with frustration. "Emma, for once, push through. Just one night. Dad's been planning this for years." Doctors had already been a parade of dismissals. The first said migraines. The second shrugged and suggested I take anxiety pills. Then Dr. Lila Moreno actually listened. Ordered an MRI. Listened for 5 whole minutes. The results were scheduled for the day before the gala. "I'll try," I told Nolan, not because I wanted to, but because explaining that 10 steps across my apartment could feel like climbing Everest wasn't worth it. By the time my mother texted, it didn't matter what I was feeling. "Emma, wear something elegant. Don't make excuses. This is your father's legacy night." Legacy. Not my health. Not the bleeding inside my skull. Just his legacy. The next morning, Dr. Marino's office called. "We need to discuss your MRI results in person." My stomach dropped so fast I felt it in my toes. Sitting in her office, watching my own brain appear in eerie grayscale, I wanted to scream, but my body had forgotten how. "Emma, you have a large AVM in your right temporal lobe. About 4 centimeters. It's been bleeding." The room tilted, not dizzy this time, just the weight of it. "Bleeding in my brain." Her voice was calm, clinical. Gentle but unyielding. "Surgery. Radiation. Both. High risk if untreated," and all I could think about was my father, lecturing me about stress. My mother rolling her eyes at my concerns. Nolan telling me I was making excuses. And tonight, the gala, where I was expected to smile, to applaud, to celebrate a building while my own brain was betraying me. That I left the office with a folder of scans feeling like a ticking time bomb, and 8 hours to decide, put on a mask and attend, or protect myself. The gala hall was radiant, almost absurd in its elegance. White linens, sparkling chandeliers, the hum of wealthy voices. Dad was at the podium, beaming like a king showing off his crown jewel. Mother flitted around, perfect as always, assessing me like I was a half-finished project. "Emma, you look tired. Smile. These donors are very important." I nodded, carrying Dr. Marino's folder like a shield. At the table, Nolan greeted me with a grin. "Look who decided to show up. Feeling better?" I shook my head. "I need to talk to Dad. MRI results this morning." He rolled his eyes. "Tonight's not the time. Health drama can wait." Before I could reply, Dad began speaking. Words rehearsed and polished, every slide a monument to his ambition. He spoke of advanced care, neurological breakthroughs, fundraising milestones. But then he used my suffering as a parable. "Headaches? Dizziness? Young people always catastrophize," he said, laughing with the donors. My daughter thought she had something serious. Every laugh was a punch to my chest. My own family, reducing my life-threatening condition to a story for applause. That I stood. Dr. Marino's folder clutched tight. My legs moved me toward the stage before I could stop them. Dad's smile faltered as confusion and irritation flickered across his face. "I'm not exaggerating," I said. "This isn't stress. It's a 4 centimeter AVM. It's been bleeding. The room froze. 200 pairs of eyes on me, on the folder, on him. I turned to the tech near the stage. Can we display these? Seconds later, my brain, tangled vessels, dark shadows of hemorrhage, loomed across the giant screen. Gasps rippled. Whispers grew. Dr. Adrian Cole, one of the city's leading neurosurgeons, stepped forward, studied the images, and said what I'd been screaming for months: this is serious. This is not stress. She needs immediate surgery. Dad's face went ashen. Mother's hand covered her mouth. Nolan looked stricken. I told you, I whispered. I told you about the headaches, the dizziness. I saw doctors. And you used my suffering as a joke, a cautionary tale. The donors, stunned, began acting. Checks were written not for his gala, but for my treatment. Within minutes, a fund was created. My AVM became real to everyone who had dismissed me. My father, standing at the podium, finally had no words. Later, as the room emptied, Dad approached, his face broken. I'm so sorry, he said, voice raw. I should have listened. You should have, I said quietly, turning away. My mother and Nolan stayed, finally present. But I had learned something critical. Sometimes families need proof in blood, not words. Sometimes the only way to be heard is to put your truth on the biggest stage, in the starkest light, and let the world see. 3 weeks later, surgery. 7 hours. AVM removed. Recovery excruciating. My family, cautiously present, learning how to support without suffocating. My father never got his name on a building. He got something harder, seeing his daughter survive, and finally understanding that listening is more important than legacy. Some families listen. Some only see your truth when it's impossible to ignore. I learned which kind I had. And I learned that silence isn't always golden. Sometimes, survival requires noise. Sometimes, survival requires standing up, folder in hand, in front of everyone you love, and everyone who doubted you, and refusing to be invisible.